Hello, today we're going to talk about homeowners insurance, a little bit of a basic idea about it and what you need to know. My name is Laurie, I'm with the XP Realty. We're going to jump right into homeowners insurance. That's a policy you're going to want to get as soon as you're a homeowner. And what it does is it protects you three different ways, mainly three different ways I want to talk about. The first way is it's protecting your dwelling from fire. Sometimes it's referred to as fire insurance, but it's protecting your dwelling, it's protecting your contents, things that are inside of your home, and then it also helps protect your liability. So I want to talk about those three basic things a little bit. If you have something that's sudden and accidental that happens to your house, like a fire, that's going to be covered. A bursting pipe that floods an area of your home definitely is going to take care of the damage that happened to your house. May or may not take care of the bursted pipe. It's an interesting thing. There are little ins and outs of what it covers and what it doesn't cover, and I'm sure every single company has a different policy on what it covers. And it may cover a falling tree if it were to land on your property. But if it was your tree and it landed on your neighbor's property, it's not going to cover that because it's an act of nature. So there's so many different ins and outs to homeowners insurance. Basically, it's there to protect you against sudden and accidental events that can happen, such as a theft. So that's really important for you to understand that. In addition to the coverage that it gives you for your dwelling, it gives you liability coverage. Liability coverage is very important. It protects your future earnings. So, for example, if you saw that your stairs were extremely icy and you didn't put any salt or ice out there or do anything to prevent somebody from falling on your stairs, and somebody came to your house, slipped, fell, and hurt themselves on your stairs, after you fully knowing you should have done something about that, they could sue you. If they won the case, you would be paying them until they got their full judgment. Liability insurance gives you liability coverage in the event that something like that happens. For example, if you were flying a kite in Hawaii, I'm using this because this really happened. You were flying a kite in Hawaii and the string got caught around somebody it didn't mean to, and they got damaged and hurt. Now that's nothing to do with where your house is, right? Well, your liability coverage would cover you if you acted negligence. Negligence is in a way that a responsible person would have acted during that time. If you had acted negligent, meaning not being careful as a normal person would be, then you caused harm to somebody else, then your liability insurance could step in and pay that amount. I carry high liability coverage on my homes. I think everybody should. You can raise your coverage from a simple $100,000 to $500,000 for like $25 a year. Depends on where you buy your insurance. So it's cheap to carry, huge protection for you. If your dog bites somebody, liability insurance could step in. Different scenarios like that, liability insurance can protect you, even if your children throw a rock through a neighbor's door or window. That's where your liability coverage steps in. So you have protection for the dwelling against fire, falling trees, anything sudden and accidental that can happen to your house. You have that coverage. So that's huge. You have contents coverage, your things inside. So if there was a fire and all your furniture and belongings got burned up, they'd be covered. If there was a break-in, a theft, and somebody broke in and stole items from your home, that would be covered under your homeowner's policy. Now, everything has an and then but to it. So if you have some expensive jewelry or arts or guns, they may need to be listed on a separate policy besides a homeowner's policy. They might be needed to be listed with separate coverage. So it's always a good idea to talk to the person you're getting your homeowner's insurance from to figure out what is the best way to protect different items that you own, because if theft happens, there's limits on how much they're going to pay out on that jewelry and the guns and coins and art. You need to know what those limits are. They're relatively low, And if you want to have special coverage, enough coverage to cover your loss in that event, then you want to make sure that you have a policy that's correct for that. And your wedding rings or jewelry, I should say, if you need to have them covered in another way, you're going to want to check and make sure you have enough coverage for those also. Now, lots of people ask me if they should get earthquake insurance. Your basic policy does not come with earthquake or flood insurance. Flood insurance is required if you're living in a floodplain, and you'll have to get a quote for that, and it's relatively expensive, but you're going to definitely know if you need to consider that. If you live where there are earthquakes, and we all do, earthquake insurance is something you may want to consider. Earthquake insurance is rather expensive as well to add to your policy, meaning if your policy is $1,600 a year, you might be adding an additional $800 to carry earthquake coverage, and I always think it's a great idea. So you want to get a quote on that. Earthquake insurance has very high deductible as well. Your deductible could be as high as 10% of your house value. So if you have a $300,000 house, your deductible for earthquake could be $30,000. So what that means is the first $30,000 worth of damage they are not going to cover. After that, they will step in and cover an array of things, from cleaning your lot to rebuilding your home if that needs to be the case. I mean, so the first $30,000 is on you. So you may need to build a smaller house that's $30,000 less than the house that you currently had if it was a total rebuild. If it is just damage to the home and you have $50,000 worth of damage to the home, guess what? Once you pay your $30,000 in repairs, they're going to step in and take care of the rest of it. Or they'll write you a check for the $20,000 and you'll have that damaged home. So you need to kind of think about earthquake insurance, whether that's going to be a benefit and a blessing to you. I always figure I owe a lot of money on my house. It's better to get something than nothing. If I were to be caught into a very large earthquake, a lot of people feel like they would just walk away if they were in as high as their deductible. So it really depends on you and how you feel about that. But it's certainly something that you should talk to your insurance agent about. They are your friends. They're not trying to just sell you something. They're trying to educate you on what homeowners insurance is. I was an agent for 5 years with State Farm, and I love teaching people about homeowners insurance and all the benefits of adding different things, such as a little higher liability coverage, and educating them on, got to get in your mind that it's sudden and accidental, and that lots of claims could get your policy canceled, lots of claims meaning 3 and 5 years, and that small claims will raise your rates, so you don't want to call every time somebody steals your kid's bike. Things like that are not in your best interest. There are deductibles for homeowners insurance. The higher your deductible, the lower your premium. You might want to ask what the next level up in a deductible does to your annual premium and make a decision from there, with the mindset that you're not going to use this unless it's outside of a financial comfort for you. And then that is how to shop for homeowners insurance as far as what you're getting from them. I also wanted to talk to you about the importance of getting a couple quotes. First quote should always be from where you carry your auto insurance, because they will give you, in most cases, a multi-line discount. You'll have a little bit of savings on your auto, and you'll have a little bit of savings on your homeowner's policy. So get your quote where you have your auto insurance right now as a first choice, and then look up. Go to another place or two and get a second or third quote, and let them quote your autos too if you'd like. And this is going to give you the very best rate and a good place to call home for your homeowner's insurance policy. I would encourage you to do that no matter how long you've been with the company you're with. 2 looks is really worth it in the long run, because if you're saving $500 a year, think about what that could add up to be in 10 years. It's a beautiful thing. So I want to encourage you to get multiple quotes for your homeowner's insurance policy. All right. Well, we've talked a little bit about homeowners insurance policy. If this was helpful, please write yes in the comments below because I'd love to hear some feedback on that. And then if you have other questions about homeowners insurance policies, I encourage you to call your local agent. And as always, you can send me a message and I'll try to respond to that as well, even though that is not my field right now. All right, I hope this was helpful and I hope you enjoy shopping for your homeowners insurance policy. Have a great day.